I just sold pretty much my entire stock portfolio and am now putting it into Bitcoin. And in this video, I'm going to explain why. Stick around. Greetings, super friends. Jonathan Levy. And yes, I did it. After many, many years of deliberation, hem-hawing, and begging my wife, I finally did it. I sold just about my entire stock portfolio on all the various different apps from Robinhood to Wealthfront, and I am now in the process of gradually putting that money into Bitcoin. Yes, I have exited the market, and I know that right now is literally the worst time to sell because the market is at pretty much record lows. But I want to walk you all through why that decision came to be and why I feel like this is the right decision for me. Now, there's a few different factors I want to consider here and things that I want to point out. The first is just a caveat and being completely transparent. I really only had about 5% of my net worth in the stock market as it is, and I have a significantly larger percentage of my net worth already in real estate, Bitcoin, and other things. I'm a really big believer in real estate for a simple reason. Real estate is cash flowing, and I do not believe that having a higher net worth, as in tens of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin or $100 million stock portfolio, is going to improve my life or the quality of life of my family. What I am interested in, especially as I transition towards working more in the Bitcoin space on projects like this, which frankly don't really pay the bills, I'm interested in monthly cash flow, and my stock portfolio was just not doing that. So whereas when I invest in real estate, I can get 5 to 8% of my money back every single year and live off that money and enjoy that money and use that money to spoil my beautiful wife who's sitting right behind me, with the stock market, I was getting incredibly low dividends, somewhere in the range of 0.7%. And that's not much better than putting the money in a savings account. Now, I went back and I looked at my stock portfolio from 10 years ago. I dug up the statements and I realized that the amount of money that I was playing with 10 or even 8 years ago was less than the amount it is today. So leave that entire lie and story that they tell us, on average, the stock market performs about 4 to 7% a year. And if you put that money in the stock market for 40 years, even $100,000 will be like 10 million. It's all bullshit, you guys. It's complete bullshit because that narrative has been carefully crafted by the folks on Wall Street who want to get people like you to put your hard-earned money into what is honestly not that much better than a basic Ponzi scheme. The stock market is largely dominated by tremendously large hedge funds, algorithmic traders, and BlackRock. And so they are able to manipulate it and they are able to win and beat you every single time if you're a retail investor. And frankly, even if you're putting in something big like the S&P 500, as I was doing, well, the numbers don't lie. You can tell me that over time, on average, it's going to be so much better. But let me present to you two scenarios. One, I put this money in a stock portfolio in 2013, and today it's worth less than it was almost 10 years ago. And on the contrary, I put a similar amount of money at a similar time period into real estate, and that has more than 5x'd itself. Not to mention, it is paying out every single month in passive income so that I can actually use that money to improve my quality of life. So now that you understand all of that, you understand why I sold off this entire shitty stock portfolio, which was doing literally nothing for me. Now, that doesn't mean that I am completely giving up on stocks. I did keep one stock in my play portfolio, and that is Tesla, which I bought on the Robinhood app. And the only reason I kept that is because I did really, really well on that one stock, and I don't really want to pay the capital gains, especially not this year when I'm hoping to have some other large transactions. So I'm delaying that and hoping that Tesla is going to go up to 1,000. But honestly, long term, I'm going to sell that too because I just no longer believe in the stock market. It's people betting on the future of a company. And as my wife and I have seen with her company's stock, It really has nothing to do with the actual performance of the company and everything to do with speculation. And I talked about this in a past video when I talked about why people don't respect Bitcoin and why that is wrong. So, what am I doing with the money? It is a large sum, and yes, I have decided to put all of that money into Bitcoin. Doesn't mean that I'm going to put all of my money or my family's money into Bitcoin. I'm still heavily investing in real estate because I believe it offers things that Bitcoin cannot offer, such as I mentioned, passive income every month, and also tremendous tax benefits that don't exist in any other asset class. Things like being able to 1031 exchange and roll forward your tax basis and never pay the appreciation taxes, and the ability to bequeath or give your children tremendous amounts of wealth up to $10 or $11 million with no inheritance tax. That's something you can't do with cash, Bitcoin, stocks, or anything else, but you can do with real estate. So I'm still very much a believer in real estate, but I have to say that this small amount, this amount that I was just going to let ride in the market, I'm putting it all into Bitcoin. Gradually over the course of weeks and or months, but I can say I have already put a lot of that into Bitcoin and I already feel much better. I believe, as many of you probably believe, that Bitcoin is not only going to $100,000, but it is going to $1 million. And that's not the reason I'm buying it. To be honest, I don't care if it stays exactly where it is. What I care about is the fact that over the course of 10 years, I actually lost money in the stock market. And that's before you factor in the fact that we've seen 9, 10, or even 12% inflation in the last 2 years alone. So in addition to actually losing dollars, I've lost an even larger percentage if you factor in inflation and you count in purchasing power. So I'll be very happy if Bitcoin just keeps up with inflation and stays at a certain level where I can get the same level of purchasing power as when I buy that Bitcoin today. But that's not at all what I believe is going to happen. I believe that as we get to the next halving in 2024 and beyond, Bitcoin is only going to skyrocket higher and higher and higher. And I like the idea of at least beating inflation, but I also love the idea of being able to use that Bitcoin in the future. Again, I'm not a person who goes for moonshots. I'm not interested in having a huge payday in the future. I'm investing in Bitcoin because it is a hedge against inflation, but I'll be very happy if it does much, much more. But let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Are you still invested in the stock market? Do you believe in the stock market? Do you think I'm an idiot for pulling out of the stock market? I'd love to hear all your comments. Make sure you're subscribed because I've got a ton of great content coming out soon. Thanks for watching and take care.